This is how I'm controlled. So I want to do a search, and they're missing the search bar. The keyboard is missing. This is how they keep me from using my devices year after year, knowing that no one would believe that someone's controlling my devices in malice. So that you have to be creative of how you're going to keep someone from using their devices to not get caught. So if you just have the search the keyboard disappear, then they can't search and be on the like I'm reporting year after year, and then I just call the police because I got tired of it. I'm fighting for my life, and I repeatedly experienced like the things like this: windows closing. The police department came, Richardson police came to cover for it. I wasn't getting anywhere. I was at that place hours, and the same crap kept happening. Windows closing, all kinds of mind games. It was impossible and then the data would repeatedly go off. It's impossible. So since I'm recording, they let me in it. It's since you have to incriminate people. I'm sorry, what was your name?
This is Midcoast Family Services.
Yes, I have some questions about the 3 day that you could stay there. The 3 days.
Who am I speaking with?
I just want to know more information on the 3 days that you could stay there.
Okay, can you tell me who am I speaking with, please?
I also wanted to know why. Remember when that lady said she didn't feel comfortable giving me the makeup?
Doing what? Who? Giving you the makeup.
Yes, and then you had to go take me to get the makeup because she said she didn't feel comfortable.
Who am I speaking with?
Kiana, remember when the lady didn't want to give me the
Oh,
makeup?
yes. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I just wanted to know why was she? Because a lot of people didn't want me having makeup. Didn't want me having makeup. Why would she not allow me to have makeup and said and be rude and said I couldn't have it?
Oh, I have no idea. But I mean, yeah, whatever we have is for the clients, as needed, whenever they needed it, and like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you guys had me terrified because I commuted that long way, and then you said that I had to leave in 3 days. And I told the church I was crying and I was panicking because I commuted, and then a lot of things just really weren't adding up there. And then you said that I could indeed stay past the 3 days, but if that's not policy, why were they telling me at first that I could stay 3 days?
Because that is the what not sort of like a script, but what we have for everybody. That's not just one particular person. That applies to everybody. That's just something we have, and that's just our way of being able to either keep providing services or do proper referrals that would better serve that person that calls in. Because sometimes this may not be the place they need. Sometimes all they may need is one day to call family and get to where they need to go. Other times it may just be that 3 days is enough time for them to get transportation and move on what they and do what they need to do. But no, that's not any one particular person that's told that. It applies to everybody.
Oh, well, you know that I told you that I was getting messages that my abuser was controlling you guys and all that, and I showed you, and then he said I was going to get put out that day. And then some people, staff, lied on me and said I was recording them when I wasn't.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
So you remember when I
Yeah.
told you that my abuser said he was going to get me put out?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I
And
do.
then they were accusing me of recording, and I said, no, what are you talking about?
Mm.
And then I
Wow.
said, what staff told you that? And they wouldn't tell me who said it, but it's a lot of locations
Yeah.
that have scammed and blatantly lied on me and said that I was recording.
Right.
So I'm just trying to get, because
Yeah.
if you guys are in armies full of other locations or allowing someone that's sending me death threats to control you, I don't see how that would make you accomplices.
No. That's one of the things that we pride ourselves on is the confidentiality. When somebody comes in here, if nothing else,
But yet I
the
didn't get
confidentiality
services. I
stands
didn't
with
get proper
everybody
treatment.
here.
I didn't get services. So I mean, the reality of the thing of it is, and they still won't call me back. The reality of it is, I was mistreated there, and I didn't get proper
Oh
services.
wow.
I had some weird experiences. Some things disappear from there, and then even some food. And then they said they wouldn't review the camera footage. Like they couldn't. So then, there was denied counseling. Remember you said that you'd have one of the counselors call me back. I told you they wouldn't call me back, and they were being rude. And then you said that you'd have them call me back. They never did.
Yeah. Yeah. it's just that like I said, I'm sorry, I can't apologize for anybody because I don't know, who did what. But I mean, we would hope that while you were here, you got what you needed, or at least some
No,
referrals that
I
helped you
made
out.
several complaints that I was getting mistreated and people they weren't following proper protocol. I repeatedly kept saying that
Hmm.
over and over and went over people's heads, and it was like I was getting punished because then they say we intimidate me and bully me and say I was recording when I wasn't. And then they saw crimes being committed with my phone and said they couldn't be a witness, and then weren't honest about the safe phone. Then they
Hmm.
said they had a help with a government phone, and that number was disconnected. So I've never. I mean, all domestic violence organizations are dishonest about the phone services that can't be hacked for women fleeing abuse. All of them. And I told you that you would have been the first organization that was not would not have been accomplices to my abuse because all of them have conspired with it.
Right. And remember when we talked about that, and I told you that was one of the things that would never happen. That
Oh, it
would
did.
never
That's what
happen
I
for me.
can't report it. It did because Jackie was not honest about the name change information, and then you kept whenever I was trying to get transportation, the transit was always out. People were always off. So some occasions I had to get an Uber because people were always off. Every time that I needed to use transit before was no problem, and then at one point I could never use the service that you have for transit, and I just had to get Ubers on some occasions because people were always off or out when I needed it completely changed. And Jill never helped me
And
with the legal.
honestly,
Jill,
that does happen sometimes. Sometimes it does happen that we do
but
not
I'm just
have,
not being really heard for
you know,
years that I'm telling you that it's something I was denied services and I was mistreated, and I keep reporting this to location to never be heard. There's multiple different
mhm,
things that they offer. They didn't give me any kind of a lot of knowledge about services that they offer. They kept doing referrals
right,
other
right,
places. Eve sabotaged legal knowledge, told me to go to Rio Grande Legal, and they denied all legal representation and knowledge as well. This has been a pattern that has followed me. Then when she uncovered all that corruption with that dismissed charge, the court I guess
mhm,
was afraid that she had integrity, and then they upped the judge's information because I couldn't get the judge's information. So I guess that they were afraid that it was a witness, and then went ahead and gave me the
mhm,
judge's information, and then Eve switched up, and then got rude, and then wouldn't
yeah,
get my police records. I told her that I couldn't get the records without them. They would bully me and mistreat me, and they
right,
wouldn't answer the phone. I
right.
couldn't get them on the phone. So she ignored it and then denied me assistance. But it's been follow every domestic violence organization that's treated me like this, and I'm trying to get down, get people the accountability for being accomplice to someone that they're aware is sending me death threats and threatening my life. If you're not safe to go
Well,
to a domestic violence organization
yeah.
that don't want to be
Well, I
accomplice
hope
with an abuser, that's
I
it.
hope we did something, at least something good for you while you were here. I mean, and my biggest thought, and I guess all our biggest thoughts on that is just
I
keeping you
think that
safe
what
and
the
making
most
sure that
biggest
you're
part
safe.
is that I don't think that I should be deprived of services repeatedly over and over. I did get
Oh,
shelter and I did get the food, but I don't appreciate the shelter being controlled by someone that's threatening my life and depriving me of all other services and playing mind games.
hmm,
And
oh
then
God.
set up play games with appointments, not call me back in any kind of avenue they can to not give me services. Do that. And then when they're seeing that
Hmm.
my phone is being hacked, say I can't see it, I don't know, and cover for it.
Hmm.
And then if they see that the police, if they're, why would a domestic violence organization be aware that a police is telling them not to help me and they're seeing death threats and then they do it? How terrifying is that for location to location to be the elephant in the room? And these locations know that they're violating you and conspiring with someone that's saying they're going to kill you. And there's nothing that you can do about it. You're just trapped in it. So I'm the elephant
Well,
in the room. Everyone in these environments know that they're being controlled, and I'm just trying to prove that it's happening. To let someone and then be aware that this party's controlling you and what you're giving this party, and then you don't say anything, even family members.
how are you at this moment? Are you okay?
Well, I'm still going through the same thing, and I'm trying to put the pieces together. And I think that representative not wanting to give me makeup, and the makeup was right there, and that's what that room was for. And she refused to give it to
Hmm.
me and walked off. I think that was evidence that my rights, that people were being controlled, and they were deliberately violating my rights to even the petty of getting makeup. But it repeatedly, I keep experiencing things like that. Some places wouldn't give me a band-aid bleeding, and I just wanted to prove that I'm experiencing that because my situation isn't realistic that someone would be able to abuse that much power. I had food come up missing repeatedly over and over, and sometimes they were even drinking, eating my things in front of me, and it's been a pattern.
And it's still happening now?
Well, I just wanted to address the situation there at Midcoast. Because
Oh, okay.
if I incriminate people repeatedly over and over, perhaps maybe something can be done. Because if all the domestic violence organizations that I went to conspired with abuse and allowed, someone to control them that's sending me death threats, that puts my safety at risk as a citizen here if it repeatedly keeps happening. So I think that people will find it bizarre that a person at a domestic violence organization didn't want me to have makeup. And then I told you that Austin Street Shelter actually put me out for trying to put on makeup.
Well, I mean, I can't, like I said, I have no idea who that was, who that person
Well,
was.
you
All I
got
can
up,
say,
and then you said that I could indeed have the makeup.
yeah.
But you do know because I reported to you that I had Austin Street put me out for putting on makeup, and I felt that it was a red flag that she closed the door and would not have me access to the supplies that the other women had. So for some reason, she deemed it okay
Yeah.
to deny me access to
Tiana,
things that everybody else had
yeah,
access to.
hold on.
Okay.
I have a call. I'm the only one at the moment right
Okay.
now. This is not a lie. I'm the only one right now.
Okay. I
So,
hope.
okay. Call us back, please, if there's anything else that we can do, or if we can refer you or give you any other information or referral that you might need.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
give us a call back.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay?
Okay. Bye. So the mind games that they played there, I want you to know how excessive the abuse of power is. Typically, it's easy for me to meet friends. Okay. So they demanded after all this was said and done, when I did get rides, that they have to have an escort. Okay. So it had to be two people in the car. So because when I talk to people, they like my personality and would not know what I went through, and I make a good a good impression on them. Okay. So then what they did when they did give me rides, it had to be two people. It had to. They set it up for it always to be two people in the vehicle, and the two people would talk and exclude me. So if you like to play mind games, it was deliberate to keep me isolated and ostracized. So there are two women talking in the vehicle, and then they won't let me in. I could not. They couldn't be a support system because I couldn't talk and gain relationships because it was someone else. They were talking to each other. I think it was on purpose because before it would be one party. That takes resources for two people to escort someone. It's not needed. There's one person that normally escorts, but then after the police, and then they went to the point to where I could barely even use the transit. So they enlisted them to make sure that it was two people so they can exclude me for a conversation. That way I'm isolated. So I know that this is an incredible story that someone would scheme and manipulate and be that sadistic to control so much, but that's why I'm deliberately trying to expose it. So why would domestic violence organizations, and she had to get off the phone, they have these con calls. Everything's being monitored. So for several different times, I would talk to people, and then when they would get trapped in the bind, oh, I got a crisis line call 4 or 5 times. But this is not only this environment that has done that. If it's not that, it's gang stalker staying at the location that needs to talk to them precisely when I'm talking to them. This is what I'm trying to communicate, that it's a conspiracy of people trying to cover each other's tail. So these gang stalkers that stay in these locations interrupt me from exposing crimes that I'm experiencing at these locations. Like in the Dart video, when I was I'll put it in the descriptions. It will take me a while to find it, but I'm reporting the chaos I experienced on Dart, and then she says, "Oh, I need to report so and so. This bus driver don't know her route." So they're deliberately trying to not help them not be incriminated. Those are gang stalkers that are interrupting. It's deliberate. So nonetheless, I don't know how would be able to expose that an abuser is controlling the environments, other than why would they exclude me from makeup and hygiene products in that closet? And then when they realized how incriminating that was, they went ahead and let me have the products. Then they told me that I was going to have to leave in 3 days after commuting. I need to calm down. 8 hours on a Greyhound. I got there and then they just sprung it on me that you can only be here 8 days. You're gonna have to, 3 days. You're gonna have to find somewhere to go. I said, what? I was crying and panicking. I talked to the church. They got emotional and now they're being bizarre too. The church, I don't know what happened, but then they switched up and said that I can be there 60 days. And then other people, I don't know what the truth is. Other people said, I didn't hear. They told me 60 days. I don't know what you're talking about. 3 days. But they told me I didn't get checked into like three something because it was glitches with the Greyhound system or whatever. So I don't think that I got to that location at 3 a.m. Then like a day or two, they said you can only be here 3 days, so you're gonna have to leave Friday. And like I said, I was panicking, crying at church, because I'm being deprived of law enforcement and I'm being railroaded to be forced into homelessness. So that was terrifying. I went all the way away from Dallas and the surrounding areas to escape mistreatment like this and still got it upon my arrival. Okay, I don't know what else to do. I think that's bizarre. The makeup experiences repeatedly over and over, and hopefully people are seeing a pattern.